You know, considering the state of things, you would think that it would be best if the Carmelo Anthony family, or at least their representatives, kept a lower profile. But no, no. Apparently, Dominique Alexander wants, Carmelo Anthony to look as bad as possible by acting like a complete shit all the time, constantly. Like, this is the man who's representing your family. Anthony family? Do you think this is a good representation? This absolute fucking garbage human being? Hmm? You know, it's insane the way this guy, But I mean, this is just like classic activist bullshit. They're trying to take a tragedy and make it all about them, which is exactly what Dominic Alexander is doing, or Dominique. I don't know how the fuck you say that shit. It's a woman's name. That's a woman's name. That's a very masculine name. Shouldn't be. There's a woman's name. That's a uh, fucking SAO abridged reference. Anyway, shout out to Fox News. Austin Metcalf's father fires back after Carmelo Anthony family rep attacks him again. Justice will prevail. Shout out to the New York Post. The spokesperson for the family of Carmelo Anthony, accused of fatally stabbing Frisco, Texas high school track star Austin Metcalf. No, Austin Metcalf wasn't a track star. He was at a track meet. He was a football player. Took to X late Monday to attack Metcalf's father for the second time, provoking a response from Metcalf's father. Keep in mind, Austin Metcalf's father hasn't said a fucking word in the press ever since the press conference that he was kicked out of by police. Dominic Alexander also lies about what happened that day, by the way. On April 17th, Dominic Alexander, or Dominique, I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that. Like, he's a man, so I would say Dominic, but the way it's spelled would be Dominique, like a woman. Dominic Alexander of the Next Generation Action Network led a chaotic news conference where Jeff Metcalf, Austin's father, was escorted out by police. At the beginning of the news conference, Alexander turned his wrath toward the elder Metcalf, calling him disrespectful and saying that his appearance was a disrespect to the dignity of his son. This absolute piece of shit. The only thing that was disrespectful to the dignity of Austin Metcalf is your bitch ass out here in the fucking press. You're not the family's lawyer. Who the fuck are you to speak on their behalf? I mean, obviously the family has allowed you to speak on their behalf because you're an activist. Also, because I imagine that your Next Generation Action Network has probably lent them some money based on, them knowing that they would eventually get their GoFundMe money. In Monday night's video, Alexander doubled down on those attacks and said his organization never called the police on Metcalf. They were there before Metcalf arrived. Nobody ever accused you of that, of calling the police. Everybody knew police were already at the press conference. They accused you of having him thrown out of the press conference by the police. Quote, the press conference wasn't organized by him, Alexander said. The press conference wasn't about him. The press conference didn't invite him. Yet at the end of the day, it's a criminal case, y'all. It's literally inappropriate, not only ethically, but it's inappropriate for that family to interact. And we don't know what we don't know, Alexander said. At the end of the day, I have to ensure that the safety of all the parties are intact. Just someone showing up at our press conference, we can't have that. We don't know what it is. It's not our press conference, motherfucker. You have nothing to do with this. Zero, zilch, nada, you fucking piece of shit. I wouldn't give a shit about who the family, who the Anthony family has to represent them in public. I wouldn't care if Dominic Alexander wasn't such a massive cunt. And he is a massive cunt. He is a 6-foot wide cunt. Alexander added that he had lost a son and did feel for Jeff Metcalf. Nah, nobody gives a shit. You're not going to sit there and talk all this shit to this guy and then like turn around and try to say, oh, well, actually, I also lost a child, so I know what he's going through. Shut the fuck up. Nobody wants your goddamn pity. Nobody wants your sympathy. Like I said, you're just making Carmelo Anthony look bad. You're just going to further get this boy crucified in the public opinion more, or in the court of public opinion more than he already is. Alexander then launched into a tirade about those online who have criticized him for his past criminal behavior and posted his past mugshots. Yeah, he has a criminal record, Dominic Alexander, because of course he fucking does. Quote, I really don't care what no one says about me. I really don't, he said. I don't care about the racist I'm assuming that means pussies. I don't care about the racist pussies who want to say something about Dominic and say something about my past. Yep, because he refers to himself in the third person like a fucking narcissist, like a complete narcissist would. I really, quite frankly, don't. If you know me, you know your attacks toward me only do one thing: boost my ego. The reality is, I really don't, quite frankly, give a damn. Yeah, God, this guy's such a fucking narcissist. Let me say, let's take this fucking tragedy, make it about me. Absolute piece of shit, Dominic Alexander is. Absolute garbage human being. Alexander then returned to speaking about the press conference, saying the Anthony family was not aware that Metcalf was there until he was removed by Dallas police. That's bullshit. That's a crock of shit. That is a crock of shit. That is a fucking out and out lie, and everybody knows it. And that he didn't know Metcalf was in attendance until a member of the media tipped him off. So wait a minute. You can't have it both ways. If the police remove him physically while you're standing at the podium, then you're claiming you didn't know until police removed him. Then you're saying that you didn't know until someone from the media tipped you off. So what order was the events? Were you tipped off by someone in the media and then you saw the cops drag him out, or did you see the cops drag him out and then someone in the media said, "Hey, that's Jeff Metcalf"? Or are you full of fucking shit? Are you completely full of fucking shit? Because that's what I think. I think it's option C. I think you're completely full of fucking shit. You absolute fucking trash bag of a human. Quote, one of our security people asked Metcalf to move back, Alexander said. He looked at him like he was entitled or like he didn't have to move, whatever it may be. I said, who, what? Said Alexander. The media member was like, yeah, that's Austin's dad. I said, I know you're lying. Like, what? He can't be here. And so what we initiated was making sure we secured the facility. He said, how do we know what he came here for? See, he even, like, first he doesn't know that he's there until the cops escort him out. And now he makes it clear based on his own telling of the events that he saw him before the cops escorted him out. Because he said he had to secure the family first, which means he would have been the one, most likely, to ask the cops to escort Jeff Metcalf out of the building. Like, everything that comes oozing out of this man's cunt mouth is a fucking lie, okay? Dominic Alexander is almost as big a piece of shit as Carmelo Anthony is. Almost. Dominic Alexander hadn't killed anybody yet. Well, anyway, so Metcalf fired back at Alexander. I don't allow Alexander to live rent-free in my mind, he told Fox News Digital. It really doesn't matter what the lies this man about the lies this man spreads. He just wants more attention. Don't give it to him. Justice will prevail. Alexander later complained that people online deemed him insensitive for his attacks on Metcalf during the first news conference. The April 17th news conference was held for Anthony family to speak for the first time since Carmelo Anthony allegedly murdered Austin Metcalf, but an agitated Alexander spent much of the news conference attacking Jeff Metcalf. Quote, what we've seen at the beginning of this press conference of the father being at this press conference, these are my words. Don't quote anybody. This is a disrespect to the dignity of his son, Alexander said at the time. Next Generation Action Network from the beginning has respected the loss of life, no matter our opinion of it. We have kept our opinion close. He said, we have not attacked. We have not shared the information that we shared with us about Austin Metcalf because we respect the dignity of loss and life. Really, then who leaked it out? The alleged fucking all the character assassination stuff that came out about Austin Metcalf. Most of it's been debunked, by the way, or pretty much all of it has. But who could have possibly leaked that out except for you? I believe it was you. Fake Instagrams, fucking posts where he's talking about, where he's saying racist shit. Like, I don't believe that was him. Later, Anthony's mother, Kayla Hayes, read a prepared statement. Our family has been under attack, she said. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boy, my three younger children, my husband and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, or lied about. That's probably true. Let's be honest here. She said such lies have put her family in danger. I don't fucking believe that. I don't believe for a hot second that she's got like massive death threats or anything like that. I don't believe her. Along with the community and those involved in the investigation. Quote, our address and my husband's previous employer's address have all been put on social media platforms. Okay, yeah, they probably did get doxxed. Well, yeah, I mean, I covered it. We found, well, not we, because I wasn't involved. I was just reporting on it, but they found, the fucking gated community these people lived in. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid of what may happen to our family. No, your husband had to take a leave of absence because his son murdered somebody. And because, considering the massive success of the GoFundMe, he's not going to have to work for a while. She said her husband's mental health is deteriorating and her daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bed. From what? Like, what has happened? What? Did somebody send you a dead cat in the mail? Your son stabbed someone in the heart and then copped to it later on. Before concluding, Alexander turned to the issue of race. Quote, because these racist bigots try to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy, he should be afforded the same rights that Kyle Rittenhouse had. Daniel Penny and all the people who claimed whatever their defense was, he should be afforded the same right, Alexander said. Okay, Alexander, he's not your baby. Okay? He's not. And it's hilarious to automatically say that anybody who said this wasn't self-defense is a racist, because I'm not racist, and I don't think it was self-defense. I think your boy overreacted. I think he brought a fucking knife with him to a track meet. He was where he wasn't supposed to be. He was asked to move, and he stabbed someone in the fucking heart over it. Quote, nobody in the public media has one video, but we got the video of Kyle Rittenhouse with an AK-47 shooting three people in the back, he said. This guy's so fucking retarded. He actually said that, by the way. Okay, Kyle did not have an AK-47. He did not shoot anyone in the back. Period. End of story. We got that. He raised more than $2 million publicly, and nobody said anything about that. Actually, tons of people said plenty about that, and his legal defense fund, GoFundMe's, and all these things they got taken down. So before he was able to collect any of it, and all the people who donated to him got their money refunded. So, yeah. Jeff Metclaf and the Dallas Police Department declined to comment. Jeff Metcalf previously told Fox News the person made a bad choice and affected both his family and mine forever. He said Austin, who died in his twin brother's arms, was the light of my life. Quote, people ask me, how can you forgive this other person? I said, I forgive the other person because the forgiveness is not for him. He said, the forgiveness is for me so I can have peace. His life is destroyed. My life is destroyed. He's definitely the bigger man. If it was my son, I'd probably have a lot more to say. But, that's me. Anyway, yep, Dominic Alexander is a piece of shit, and he's going to burn in hell when he dies. Anyway, throw me a bone with the algorithm stuff. You know the drill at this point.